geothermal and hydropower. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about the volcanic activity, because that's the only time we've ever come on the news. And then a few pictures. So Iceland is a country midway between North America and the mainland of Europe. Its capital is the northernmost capital in the world. And the country has a population of about 320,000 people and a total area of about 40,000 square miles, which means that it's the least populated country in Europe. Up until the 1900s, the country was one of the poorest and least developed countries in the world. We still lived in mud houses, mud and grass houses until the 1900s. Industrialization of fishery and aid from the Marshall Plan after the World War II brought prosperity, and by the 1990s, Iceland was one of the world's wealthiest countries. In 2011, the country was ranked 14th most developed country in the world by the United Nations Human Development Index and the 4th most productive country per capita. So, geothermal energy in Iceland. So, this line here is the crack that goes through the North America and the Europa plates. So the country is midway in between, which means that these places are very good for geothermal energy, and all the red spots are volcanoes. So, and all the black lines are cracks into the earth. Geothermal energy is used for domestic and industrial use. About 87% of the population enjoys central heating by geothermal energy. And geothermal steam is used directly for a number of industrial process applications, and is also used for a small scale to produce electricity, but it's growing. This area here is actually the most popular tourist location in Iceland. This is the Blue Lagoon, and right behind it is a geothermal plant. So we have 5 major geothermal plants in Iceland, and this one is the second largest geothermal plant in the world, second to one in Paraguay. And it produces 303 megawatts of electricity, about 100 megawatts of heat, and it's their goal to reach 400 in the next few years, 400 megawatts of electricity. Our main resource of electricity is, though, from hydropower, which comes from the glacial rivers and waterfalls in Iceland, which there's a lot of. This is the biggest one there, and it produces 690 megawatts, and it's about over 80% of the electricity in Iceland is generated in hydroelectric power stations, and aluminum production uses 74% of electricity used in Iceland. So this is the name of the power plant I showed you a picture of, and it produces 4,600 gigawatt hours per year, and all the energy of that plant goes into aluminum production. And these are the biggest hydropower stations in the country, even though we have a couple of more. So energy utilized in Iceland. Total energy in Iceland, electrical energy produced per year is 17,210 gigawatt hours, 73% from hydropower and 27% from geothermal. We have the highest energy consumption per capita in the world, but we also have the highest renewable energy production per capita. You can compare this number to Americans. You have 12.4 megawatt hours. And the energy in Iceland comes 66% from geothermal, 19% from water power, 13% from fuel, and 2% from coal. Oh, that's not, well, I have a lot of pictures. So, okay, volcanic activity. Of course, we have a lot on the crack, but this is our biggest area. Most volcanic activity in the last years. And this is the one that blew up in 2010 and stopped all air traffic for a month, for about a month over the Atlantic Ocean. Two pictures of it, and you can see here a little impact it had on Iceland itself, because this is the south coast, and this is blowing towards the Atlantic Ocean. So we felt it less than Britain. And here's one photo from April 2010 of the volcano. So this volcano that blew up is the 5th largest glacier in Iceland and has erupted 4 times since the country's foundation in 930 AD. There was a small eruption in 2010 that lasted almost a month and a half, and is, as I said before, most notable by the fact that it closed off air traffic across the Atlantic Ocean. I'm going to talk a little bit about this volcano that last blew up in 1918. It is a very active volcano, has erupted 20 times between 930 and 1918, and one of the largest volcanoes in Iceland. This is the glacier that blew up in 2010, and this is the larger sister. Last time it blew up in 1918, it ejected 0.7 cubic kilometers of material. It erupts every 50 to 95 years, and it's been 94 years since it last erupted.
Is that why you're here? I'm sorry, I said, is that why you're here? To get away
Yeah.
There was something, so you're leaving.
Okay, then I went to a travel site actually, and looked up the most sought after places to visit. This is one of the most sought after places to visit when you go to the country. You can see the size of the waterfall if you see the people that are here. And this is called the Gold Waterfall. Here's a picture of a geyser. We have a couple of them. And this is a very popular location. This is, okay, if I showed you a picture of the country, there's 8% of the country is covered by one glacier in the southeast corner of the country, and below that is this lake, and it's always covered with a lot of glacial, a lot of ice. It's very beautiful to visit. I took this picture because I knew Dr. Henry had looked up actually this place. This is called Law Rock, and this is where our parliament resided from 930 AD till 1844, when it was moved to the capital. We have the oldest parliament in the world. And then one picture of the Northern Lights, of course. This is what, okay, all the Chinese and Japanese people come and see. There are a lot of people with cameras that come and see this. Unfortunately, in the summers, when it's not there. So I showed you a little bit of pictures of the food. We have a very clean environment. This is people drinking from just any lake. You can go up into the mountains and actually drink the water there. It's that clean. And we're famous for our hot dogs and the disgusting food, as many people call it. This is a sheep's head, a shark, smoked lamb, liver, and some. This is actually a bread that's made in the ground. And we have but just to let you know, the modern youth in Iceland doesn't eat that a lot. It's mostly gone into international food, like pizza, pasta, everyone else. And then a little bit about, this is Icelandic lobster, dry fish, which we actually eat like candy. And this is a yogurt product that's actually almost pure protein. It's very, very popular at home. Then 3 pictures of my home. This is part of where I live back home. And this is the glacier. We actually say that we live under it. It's a very famous historical glacier because Jules Verne told a story that you could reach the center of the earth through that glacier. And this is my hometown. Any questions?
Can you pronounce the name
Ei jätetä jotakin.
You said-